Hey, what's up? It's Steve, aka the Sign Picker, and I just bought a brand new heavy-duty steel storage rack for my collection. So that means today I'm going to start the process of pulling all of these signs off of this shelf so I could take these shelves down and install the new storage rack. I bought this new storage rack which holds 2,000 pounds per shelf, which should be plenty of durability for my collection. This will replace the pressed board shelving that I have now and the metal under it, which is starting to buckle under the weight of the signs. This unit is 77 inches wide, 24 inches deep, which is a little less length than my current storage unit, but I will put it all together, add some more shelves, and rearrange this whole area. Okay, I managed to get all of the signs off of these shelves and into piles right here all over the floor. My back's hurting a little bit just because it was a lot of bending and lifting, moving things over. The signs certainly take up a lot less real estate piled up here on the floor than they do stored vertically on the shelves. So now I'm going to start dismantling these shelves. Okay, I've got the storage rack all built out. It took me a couple days to do it because once I pulled the other unit out, I did some touch-up paint on the back wall, cleaned up the baseboard, swept everything out, just cleaned this area up. And it didn't take me very long at all to put this together. This is a really solid unit, super easy to assemble. I highly recommend it. So to maximize the amount of space that I had, I measured out the signs. This bottom rack is going to hold up to 36 inches tall. So that'll fit this size. It'll fit my 36 by 36 signs, which are currently against the wall over here. I'll be able to put those on the rack. And in order to maximize the space, I'm actually going to only be able to have 2 shelves instead of 3 shelves, which is what the unit comes with. But that's the best thing that will accommodate the signs that I have. I really can't add another shelf up here because it's going to make the space too small. So I took some of the extra horizontal bars and I put those in the back just for added support in the back. And it'll help so when I slide signs in, they're not going to go right into the drywall behind the sign. I also went to Lowe's and picked up some of these 1.5-inch square boards. I'm going to use these as vertical support. So it creates dividers along the shelves, because if I had signs all lined up here, it's going to be really hard to flip through them just because of the weight. So these pieces will just act as support for the signs to lean on and create individual compartments here. So I bought 8 of these boards, and I'm going to go back and buy another 4, so I have 12. I want these to line up about every 8 to 10 inches across, so that means I'm going to need 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 boards. So I'm 4 short. They came in 8-foot length, that's all they had, so I'm just going to have to cut it down to 6-foot length to match the height of the shelf. Then I'm going to use these mending braces to hold the board around the wire shelf. So the wire shelf is going to go right through the middle of the brace with a screw on top and a screw on the bottom. Okay, I am day 6 into this project. I just have to work on it a little at a time between work, between family stuff. I got the shelf assembled. I've got all of the dividers in place, ready to go. While I was at it, I had all this space cleared out, ended up hanging that 2-way cluster signal, which was a lot of fun. It's really heavy. So now it's time for me to start getting all of these signs that are piled up assembled here onto the shelves. I'm going to start with the largest signs down here at the bottom, which will be your 36 by 36. Work all the larger signs all through here. And then up here, I'll start with everything smaller, 24 by 36, all the way down to 12 by 18. We'll see how it works out. Okay, I got all the signs loaded back up onto the shelves. I'm now day 7 into this project that I voluntarily got myself into. Here's the deal. I'm not liking the way that it's set up for a couple of reasons. Number one, because I wanted to put these big 36 by 36 inch signs in my regular shelf, it's creating this height here. It's creating a lot of empty space right here, unused space that could be used for signs. And so that means I'm kind of already running out of space. Most of these sections here are really tight. And I need to think about that because chances are I'm probably going to get more signs in the future. And if I do, that's going to make these spaces even more tight. And it's going to be harder to shuffle through all the signs and pull things in and out. So I'm going to need to free up some more space. So I might take some of these bigger signs out, store them somewhere else here in the sign shop, maybe add another shelf to pull some of these smaller ones off so I can expand out for 24 by 36, 30 by 30, some of the bigger signs here, 18 by 24s, that I can expand out this space and maybe take advantage of some of this empty space. Issue number 2 that I'm having is I measured the amount of space between the floor and the bottom horizontal rack, and it's sagging in the middle by about 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch. And what that means is I'm probably exceeding the 2,500 pound weight limit on this bottom shelf. Now, I don't think this whole thing's going to collapse or anything like that, but I don't want it to sag anymore. So that means I have to take all these signs off. I have to take all these off so I can rearrange where I'm putting signs. I'm probably going to drop this down a little bit. And I also want to install some reinforcement wood down below the bottom shelf to prevent that sagging from happening. So I'm going to get to it again. Kind of feels like I'm starting all over, but hopefully we'll get it right the second time. Okay, now I finally feel like I'm starting to make some progress. After putting all the signs on the shelf, taking them all off again, well, I'm about to take them all off again. Trying to build a smaller shelf over here, but the shelf that I initially had, which was an extra shelf that I had in my garage, I found that it was too weak to hold the weight out of all of these signs. So I had to go buy another shelf. This one is a muscle rack, and it has the steel grated platforms that will hold the weight of the signs. So what I've done here is I've taken all of my longer and shorter signs, which are 3 feet long or less, and about that tall or shorter. Those are all being stored on the bottom shelf. And on the top shelf, I've done a top-down approach to my 12 by 18 signs. So it's kind of like at the record store. If any of you are familiar with digging through crates of vinyl, kind of go through the top and flip through the signs that way. I had to do that because the height of these signs were too tall to fit through here. So I said, I'll just leave the top off of there and kind of keep it like this, and it works out pretty well. I've also managed to get all of my 36 by 36 inch signs and some larger signs in the collection just standing on the floor here, wedged in between the weight of the two shelves, holds those in really, really nice. Since I moved all of that over here, I was able to free up a couple of sections of my new rack. So 2 sections on the top shelf, 1 full section on the bottom. Now there's a couple signs still in there, but I'll be able to better manage my collection and maximize the space of the new rack. But the bottom shelf is still sagging. So now I have to take everything off of this shelf, pile it on the ground, cut some pieces of wood to reinforce the bottom of the rack, and then load all the signs back up. Okay, there you have it. It's my weekend project that turned into a 3-week long project. I've just got a couple more things I still need to do. I need to rewire some of these lights up here, get a couple of these little things organized, but by and large, this project is officially done. Got all my big signs over here, got all my small signs over here on this shelf. 18 by 24 flat, 18 by 24 embossed, 24 by 24 flat, 24 by 24 embossed, 24 by 36 all down here, 36-inch square here, 36-inch regulatory here, 36-inch warning signs here, just some odd-shaped stuff, shelving for my cross-street signs, miscellaneous everything else, really huge signs that won't fit anywhere else on the shelves. Also hung up a new light, and of course, my sign wall. All right, that's it. If you want to follow along with everything that's happening here in my sign shop and you want to be notified when I post something, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Also, follow me over on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, sign picker throughout, and I'll see you in the next video.